Swifties, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for today's video because as I've mentioned, and I swear, okay, I shouldn't say I swear, but I really genuinely have a desire to get better with being more consistent with my YouTube. I have so many ideas in my head. I just need to be better about making them, like holding myself accountable to executing them in a timely manner and all of that. So when I have that desire, that typically means, you know, that'll give me the motivation to kind of follow through on it. But yeah, if you're new here, I love Taylor Swift. Please subscribe for Taylor Swift content because I have so many ideas. I've done a few album reactions that have, you know, gotten a little bit of attention. A lot of people do album reactions now, but I am such a huge Taylor fan and I would love to have you here for these types of videos and other stuff too. I do like lifestyle, beauty, whatever the heck I want. Today's video, if you couldn't tell by the title, is basically a Swiftie gift guide. This idea originated in my mind as me just kind of showing you a haul of some of my most favorite Taylor items that I own. I own a lot of merch and a lot of you probably do too. Like my little Lover pin right here was a merch drop from Lover. But as we know, merch, it comes, it gets released, and then it sells out. So while I'm sure you could find it on like Poshmark or eBay or whatever, that's not what this is about. This is more about like all the other more kitsch, is that the right word? Niche? I don't know. All the other Taylor Swift stuff that I have. And then being that it is the holiday time, I was like, oh my gosh, this ties in perfectly well to do it as like more of a gift guide style. This is not really my thing to do gift guides, but I saw Rach Martino, who is an amazing blogger and Instagrammer. I love her and she's a big Swiftie. She, as a blogger, does a bunch of gift guides, had a Taylor one, and I was like, that's what I'm gonna call that video is gift guide. Okay, sorry for the long intro. Let's get started. The first website I'm going to talk to you about is something called Redbubble. So if you're not familiar, Redbubble is a site where independent artists can, I don't know how it works, but they like contract themselves out and they can come up with their own designs. And then essentially their designs can be placed onto a whole plethora and slew of products. It's like, you want a t-shirt? Great. You want a face mask in these COVID times? Great. You want a shower curtain? Do you want a rug? Like, do you want an art print? Like there's so many variations of things you can get on Redbubble. Probably the cheapest and like starting off point on Redbubble is their vinyl stickers. I have several Taylor vinyl stickers, but these are two that I have not yet stuck somewhere, and just two of my favorites, two fun ones. Rep Taylor. I actually think I'm gonna put this on the back of my car, and then this one just says, I got that red lip, classic thing that you like. I mean, truly, like there are so many Swiftie related stickers. Just type in different keywords, folklore, speak now, whatever your favorite album might be. The stickers are super affordable. The more you buy, the more you save. They make a really cute like extension add-on of a gift. Like I really highly recommend those. Another thing that I've gotten on Redbubble is face masks. I mentioned that. These are COVID times, so we know that face masks now are just like a part of our daily lives. I had to have these when I saw these. Again, I could have gotten this saying or print on a few different items, but I felt like a face mask was the best place to do it. So here's what it looks like. It's like a very baby pink. It's a nice cloth, really comfortable, you know, one of the nicer feeling face masks that I own. And this is a quote from the Miss Americana documentary that says, I want to love glitter and also stand up for the double standards that exist in our society. And one thing I love about these is that that is such a subtle, low-key, like Swiftie thing that if you know, you know. And I really live for things like that. And also so many people ask me, what does that say? And like, then it starts a conversation. Now, another one that's in that same vein, if you know, you know, and it's a quote from that documentary, maybe slightly more I don't know if controversial is the word, is this one. I want to wear pink and also tell you how I feel about politics. I obviously like wore this a lot, still do, but like during the election and all of that, I just love it. I loved that whole documentary. I love a lot of the quotes she gave in that documentary, and those are so fun. I feel so like yeah, I just feel good like repping Taylor like with my masks. So another thing that I got off Redbubble, and I will link as many of these things down below as I can, is this clock. Now, I saw these clocks on Redbubble, I want to say over a year ago. And what it is, okay, so it's called like the Pantone, which is like the color, paint color chip like grid. I don't know if that made sense. So what they are, let me just show you. So it's a Pantone style of her albums. So this one, if you couldn't tell by those neutral colors, is Folklore. So each one of those is a track and it's in order. The One, Cardigan, Great American Dynasty, etc. I got to choose the color of the background, the hand, the wood, or the material around it. And then it's really tiny, but you know, it does have like a lyric from each song. You drew stars around my scars, but now I'm bleeding for Cardigan. If you kiss me, would it be just like I dreamed of? Will it patch your broken wings for Betty? Like, really cool. When I first saw these over a year ago, obviously Folklore wasn't out. I think I originally saw the red one, maybe. And the designer, the artist, had it for every album. Like the Speak Now were all different purple tones. The red were obviously all red tones. 1989 was super cool because it was all kind of like pastel, not pastel, that was Lover. Lover was like pastel, colorful. 1989 was more, I think it was like more blues, purples, more brights. And then I just felt like Folklore needed to be the one. It's like a really subtle, neutral thing. And this is the clock that hangs in my bathroom. And truth be told, when it came in person, I think I wish that the words were like a little larger, a little more legible. But I also do think that's how and why it fits on this clock. I don't want like some massive clock. And it makes it that much more subtle, which I love. I love subtle things. I mean, sometimes more is more, like a lot of the time more is more, and I'm all for that. But I just live for subtle ways of showing your fandom for things you like. I don't know if anybody can relate to that, but those are some things I've gotten off Redbubble. Here are some things that I believe are from Amazon. Well, this one I know for sure, but this one was a gift, and it is a Taylor Swift coloring book. This was a gift that somebody gave me at school last year, and I flipped out. So I'm a teacher, and what's funny is all my kids knew that I loved Taylor, and then a coworker got me this. Sadly, we had to stop in-person school with the pandemic, but I was gonna make, or I did, I started to make copies of some of these pictures. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying that because they're like licensed. I don't know. Don't sue me. I'm sorry. So that my like kindergartners could literally have these as coloring pages. There was, iconic. Look What You Made Me Do video. I didn't finish that, but like, it's just so fun. There's Lover. Like, it's just great. I mean, I'm sure that you can find, coloring books are very of the moment, obviously in the pandemic, and I think honestly it's just like random people who, this is the fan book, it's not officially licensed Taylor stuff. Yeah, Helen Roberts, it says, is like the author, not author, oh my gosh, hello, you're a teacher, like don't embarrass yourself. The illustrator, or whatever the right term would be, but it's just a lot of fun, and yeah, for that teacher element too. I'm like, oh my God, because the kids love to have extra coloring pages. Now this is one that I know is from Amazon. I got it for myself. It is called Taylor Swift in Her Own Words. And this is just a cute little like paperback book. It has that really nice like, almost like that NARS packaging, if you know what I'm talking about, that like smooth, somewhat rubbery feel. And it's just a compilation of quotes. I'm trying to see when this was published. Oh, 2019. So relatively updated. And let's see, what does this say? So this is just like the opening little thing. I feel no need to burn down the house I built by hand. I can make additions to it. I can redecorate. Yeah, this sounds like a Taylor quote. But I built this. And so I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I wish I hadn't had corkscrew curly hair. Hi, Cannoli, if you can hear my doggy's tag jingling. and worn cowboy boots and sundresses to award shows when I was 17. I wish I hadn't gone through that fairy tale phase where I just wanted to wear princess dresses to award shows every single time, because I made those choices. I did that. It was part of me growing up. It wasn't some committee going, you know what Taylor needs to be this year? Oh my gosh, I freaking love her. And that's a quote from Elle magazine in May of 2015. And then it goes through and there's contents like her personal life, the wisdom of Taylor, empire builder, and it's just like different categories of quotes that she has said, and I just think that's fabulous. Let's see if I can find another good quote. Just a random quote that I'm reading from 2012. I don't really think about things as guys versus girls. I never have. I was raised by my parents who brought me up to think if you work hard as guys, you can go far in life. 2012 also. I have a lot to learn about politics and feminism. All these huge, incredible concepts. I want to end up being really educated about all these big topics that everyone talks about. But I mean, it's like baby steps, you know? And until I really form an opinion that I feel is educated, I just don't know if I can talk about it. I love that quote because I totally relate to that so much. And also we all know that she has found her political voice and educated herself and feels good and strong about voicing it. Same girl. So this is just like a fun little coffee table style book. I have it on like one of my little cute fancy bookshelves with like a little candle on top, and I just, again, it's just, if you're a Swiftie, like you get it. This was also a gift, but it was from Etsy. Actually, a lot of this stuff that's left is from Etsy. But okay, this is seriously like one of the best things of all time. Maybe you've seen these by now, maybe you haven't, I don't know, but this is a Taylor Swift prayer candle. I got this a few years ago. It's not scented. It's truly just like one of those. I mean, I'm sure you've seen there's a ton of prayer candles that are like celebrities. Ugh. My soup timer is going off. Really? I should probably go check that. Hold on. Okay, we're good. I had thrown a bunch of stuff in a pot, called it soup, and set a timer for a long time, so we'll see how that turns out. The longer it sits, I feel like the more it like marinates with the flavors anyway. But yes, the prayer candle. I was saying that I think you have probably maybe seen that there's a lot of ones with like random celebrities, and it's funny and it's like, you know, but again, if you're a Swiftie, it's like, no, this is real. Like, in Taylor's name we pray. And I just think it's just like a staple for every Swiftie, and it lives on like my decorated like perfume shelf over here. It brings me so much joy. I love it. So there's that. I'm gonna move into a couple of Etsy items. I don't have a whole lot more. Like pretty much everything else is just from, you'll see. I mentioned that I'm a teacher, and this, for a teacher who's a Swiftie, I seriously think is the best thing that I own. Now, I feel like if you're not a teacher, but you're just a Swiftie, you could still think this is cool. And not to mention there's also a plethora of other similar like-ish items that you could find on Etsy, but this is my favorite teacher shirt ever. So it's like kind of an oversized white soft cotton t-shirt that has that image of Taylor. I think that's 1989 era, and it says, "Hey kids, spelling is fun." Can we talk about it? Like, obviously that lyric is controversial in some way, shape, or form. It was removed from the final track, which personally, I miss it a lot, but I guess that's neither here nor there. So there's kind of that nostalgic aspect of like, it's that lyric that like, if you know, you know, yet again, if you knew that it was, I think it still lives in the video because the video was before they, you know, whatever. But the fact that I'm a teacher and then it's, "Hey kids, spelling is fun," like, I live for this shirt. Live. So again, if you're not a teacher, maybe you won't live as highly for that or as much, but there are a lot of other cool, like, unique Etsy Taylor shirts. Okay, here is a big one that I want to make sure I mention. I have little to no self-control with this Etsy shop. The owner, I DM with her, like, she's super sweet. They are so speedy and great customer service. I mean, that's all besides the point, right? Because I'm just here to show you like what a great product it is. But there's this Etsy shop called the Femme 3. Again, I will link this stuff. And I think it was picked up during quarantine, like as a hobby. I mean, hello, how many people can relate, where they started making like glittery resin art. Maybe glitter resin art is trendy, or maybe it's childish. Let's be honest, like I probably look like a child right now, and that's who I am, and I lean into that, and that's fine. But when I tell you that I obsessively check this Etsy shop, and I brought a new one here to open with you, to unbox with you, so to speak. So it started out for me with getting coasters. Now, I am such a words person. You can probably tell I talk a lot. I'm obsessed with lyrics. Words mean so much to me. And so being that Taylor is one of the best lyricists, no, like the best lyricist of all time, and being that she has such a huge catalog, there are so many coasters for this company to make. So I'm just gonna kind of breeze through, or at least try to. One of my favorite songs, My Time, My Wine, My Spirit, My Trust. That's a coaster. This one, Feeling So Gatsby. Oh, explicit warning. Would you tell me to go myself or lead me to the garden? I get drunk, but it's not enough. So those are those. And then this is one where it's slightly bigger, but it's more of just a decorative piece. And this lives under my coffee table in my living room, which has a glass top, and then you can like decorate underneath. I very much would like to be excluded from this narrative. Just to show you a size comparison, this is like a normal circle-sized coaster, and then here's that heart design. I love that that's also like a quote from a tweet that she said back with the Kim Kanye thing. It, again, I'm sorry to keep saying it, but it's kind of that subtle, if you know what it means, you know what it means things. And it just brings me so much joy. Now this is the piece de la resistance before we open the new one. This is a tray, and this tray typically lives here in my, whatever you want to call this room, my extra room. Interpret that however you choose to. It keeps like my little wine glasses and stuff on it, because yes, I have a wine rack in this room, hence it being called the extra room. But I'm obsessed with this. Explicit warning yet again. If a man talks, oh look, it's making the camera go blurry because of all the holographic. If a man talks ish, then I owe him nothing. It is this thick, delicious, black, heavy duty tray with one of the most epic Taylor quotes lyrics of all time. So there's that. Now, what I have in this pouch are car-sized coasters. I'm aware that it's probably like an unnecessary thing, but they were on sale. So let's see which ones I got. Some things to note, ow, got myself on something. Some things to note is that these are custom pieces, so I can't necessarily link these exact ones below, but they also do custom orders. So if you want something like this, or you want the same lyric that I have and you don't see, you know, then you can request it. But they constantly are adding new ones, and it's so fabulous. And in true like Etsy fashion, there's like a cute little, you know, personalized card that comes with it. So yeah, these are car coasters, and I believe we have another explicit warning to issue. Yes, we do. Can you tell that I really like explicit Taylor? It makes me feel connected to her. If you saw my folklore reaction video, then you already knew that. And then just the straight up folklore with like blue glitter. So those are cute. They're just gonna like live inside my little car cup holders. Ugh. Okay, so again, that's the Femme 3. I will link them down below, but I really think that it's like, they're affordable. They ship so fast. It's so fabulous. Love it. Okay, now that's most everything that I am gonna show you for today's Swiftie gift guide, but I do have a few art things that are hanging on my walls that I kind of want to talk about, and hopefully I'll get some footage to show you. So one thing that I actually got off of the New York Times website, like, because it was when Lover first was announced, and there were some exclusive advertisements that were in the New York Times. I literally ordered the back issue of this one and then cut it out and then got a really cute frame to put it in. So maybe I'll show you that. I don't think you can just like go out and order it, but you would probably be able to find something similar on like Etsy or what, Redbubble, Society6. There are so many sites these days that do kind of custom things. Another piece of art I have in that same hallway is simply a framed album, and it's the 1989 album. And that kind of leads me into, if we're talking gift guide, I'm here to tell you straight up, I do not own a record player. I repeat, I do not own a record player, yet I own the 1989 vinyl, the red vinyl, and I may or may not have some of the folklore vinyl on its way. But point being, I do intend and like have a desire to get a vinyl player, whatever, record player, but I just think it's so satisfying and like cool to just own like Taylor vinyl. Like this is one of my favorite, oh my gosh, like come on, let's just revel in that. And then again, you can always frame them. Lots of places sell frames. I got mine at Target. They fit like exactly with the standard vinyl shape. The last thing that I want to show you that's art, and I also feel like I'm gonna like remember something else that I own after this. I guess I would just have to do a part 2 at that point. I don't know. But it is a print that I got on Etsy. I think I did it where it was a digital download. I've done that several times. So on Etsy, you can actually buy physical prints for them to mail to you, or you can order a digital download, which typically costs like $5 or less. It is delivered to you instantly, and then it's like a little bit more work to get it, but I mean, it's worth it to me. Because then you would go, I always go to like FedEx office, you print it out through them on like a nice thick high quality paper in whatever size you want, and then you get a frame, yada yada yada. But it is what I have above my fire, like above my mantelpiece. And okay, last time I'm gonna say it, but it really is, if you know you know. It says, "Mom, I am a rich man," and it's in the exact same like design and font and all that as the one that's in her "You Need to Calm Down" video. And if you don't know the origins of that, that was actually a Cher quote from an interview long ago where the woman was asking her something about a man in her life or something, and Cher was recalling a conversation she had once had with her mother where her mother told her, you need to get a man, you need to marry a rich man, and da 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 da. And Cher said, "Mom, I am a rich man." And while I am not necessarily a rich man, that was something where when I moved, got out of a relationship and moved into this place on my own, I just was so like, "Mom, I am a rich man." Like, I want to see this print above here every day. Again, it just brings me joy. All of these things bring me so much joy if you couldn't see that radiating through the screen. And so I am confident that they would bring the Swifties in your life, or you, aka you, joy. So please comment down below if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and I will see you guys next time. Love you so much. Stay tuned for more Swiftie content.